So, hello, my name is Rüdiger Chmielus, and in this tutorial I want to show you the making of the Orbs from this Lexus commercial we did. And first of all, I have to excuse my poor grammar, and as you can hear, English is not my first language, so have a little patience when I'm seeking for words, but I hope I can make things clear and well, can show you how all this stuff is made. Okay, first of all, I would recommend to have three very important plugins from Trapcode. They are Lux, Particular, and Shine, and for this one, Particular is very essential. Okay, so I think we start from scratch, and so I can show you how this stuff is made. Okay, first of all, we'll make a new composition, and we create a null. There we go. Okay, this one position, we make it in 3D space, and we scale it just to 1 pixel so that we not always see this box around here, so we just have this. Okay, next one is we create two lights. This can be a point light and doesn't have to be some special thing. Okay, and we want to align the light perfectly to the null. So just pick the position from the null and paste it to the light. And we do it with the second one, we just duplicate it. And the next step is to have the lights perfectly top and bottom from the null. So position, we go down there and we just add something like, let's say 20 to it, and there 0, 20. So what we have here is now in the middle a null and top and bottom a light. Next thing is we parent these two lights to the null, like this one, and we give this a nice name, null light. So what will happen now is as the light and the null are working in 3D space, we can just push them around, and they will always well, be more in front or more in the back or what else. So we just make a very little animation. We go in Z space, move it around like this, keyframe. We go back in Z space, keyframe, and we fly again back, so we just have some very basic animation and just make some nice turns to it. Something like that. Well, it doesn't matter, but just that we have some movement. So the next thing is that we have now well, position where it flies around, but also we can turn it in the rotation. It will be Z rotation, and let's make just one turn to it. And what will happen is that these two lights will now revolve around the null, but follow the position. Okay, so I think you get the idea. And the next thing what we will do is we will add a particle system to it. We do it new solid. Where are we? Oh, there. Make comp size, and we turn it just to black. It doesn't matter, but we do it like this. And we add particular to it. So nothing special is happening here, and particular is just working in its preset mode, so nothing is now combined to the lights. But what we'll do is now go into the setting, and what we have here is name starts with emitter. We don't want to have that, but we want to have it that it will start with light. And we will say that the emitter is not a point, but it is a light. So what will happen now is that the two lights that are running there are definitely our two emitters. It just looks very crazy now, but we are working on that. Okay. First of all, we say our emitter size, still big, will be 1, 1, 1. Velocity will be 0. Velocity random 0, and velocity from motion also 0. So what we have now is that these two emitters are, well, almost graphically very nice and very sharp, and it's going in the right direction. Okay, next thing is we tell the particles how they behave, and we just go in size over life. We will add this ramp to it, and also opacity over life, also add a ramp. So this will result then that we have these trails fading out and getting thinner at the end. Okay, the next thing is we just make the lifespan a little longer. It's 3 seconds here, and we can increase it to, well, something like that. It can still be a little more. Okay. So I think you get the idea what is working now, and well, okay, I think it's working for now. So now there are a lot of possibilities. What you can do, you can increase the turn, so that, let's say we have the rotation, we have just not run 1 revolution, but let's say 2 revolution is good, huh? Okay, and so there's a lot more happening here. Maybe just put it to 3, and so they're doing a lot more. And also we can make this path a little more interesting. So Let's just see how it looks from the side. Ah, okay. Maybe add another keyframe to get a more interesting position. Okay, that's getting a little crazy. I think that keyframe is not good. Okay, good. So, as we now build up these, this is a very basic setup. We have to think about how these trails look at all. So the only thing we have now here is a very wide and not very interesting trail. So this means we have to find another way to get a nice look to that. And one very important thing about particular is that the particles can be this particle type can set to a custom. That means we can use almost every image and everything that is working as a particle. So therefore we just build one, and this should be very easy. We just create a new composition and make this I think something like let's say 50 to 50, and we call that particle circle. Okay, and we create a new solid, and we add a circle to it. There we go. And the radius is now 75, too big, and I just go to 200%. So, and we have the edge is thickness and radius, feather, inner edge, something like that. And the thickness will be very thin. So something like that. Okay. So this composition is called particle circle. We go back into our composition, drop down the particle circle. You can switch it off, and we go to particular and say this that our particle is custom and the layer is particle circle. So now you see what is happening here. We have a very strange looking, it's almost like a tube, and we go play around with particles per second, get this down a little or up, and also go to the opacity, bring that down, and also give again back a little more particles. And what happens now is that we have very well, they're looking almost like X-ray tubes flying around, and we're getting to the right direction. Okay, so as you can see now, the thickness stays always the same. It's a matter of the particle, and because this is always staying the same. And you can now play around with the thickness also, also with a feather. Let's see, just work a little more on this one, and every change you make there will always result in a different shape and different looking of the two trails that are built up there. And but anyway, it's the idea that's important here. So, and what we can do now is also add a little animation to this particle. So, for instance, we can say we have this radius here, and what will happen when we animate that? I'll make a little animation to it. Maybe just keyframe, or make a few keyframes, just very basic. Go up, go down again, maybe like this, and we just copy a few keyframes so that there is a movement. When we go back into our composition of the trails, nothing really special is happening here, because in this custom setting, the time sampling is set to current time. So this means that the particle will look at the current time and will pick the size there. But we don't want to have that. We want to have something like start at birth, play once. And as you can see now, I just make this a little bigger. The size of the trail is changing, and so we get a sort of life in the trail. I'll just make a slide RAM preview. Oh, we have a lot of particles going on here. I'm just stepping through, so we don't have to really make that. And as you can see here, this thing gets alive on its own. It's getting thicker and thinner, and well, it's some well, it's nothing special, but it's all based on this little animation that's going on there. Okay, so this will be part number 1. Part number 2 is to say we want to add something more to it. And this will be, at this place, just another emitter or another particle that we will use. And so therefore we create another composition, another custom particle, and we make this same setting, 50, 50, maybe a little higher. And we add a new solid to it and go to now there, fractal noise. Okay, fractal noise is one of the most powerful tools, I think, in After Effects, and as you will see later on in the tutorial, it's almost nothing that you can't do with fractal noise, and it's so so powerful, and you can almost use it for anything that when you build something up from scratch, but well, we see it later. First of all, what we want to do is to have well, a sort of graphic that is changing and that will act as a trail. So therefore, we scale up our fractal noise, make it to, now let's say, total and smooth, raise up the contrast, and also we change this scale width and scale height and turn down the complexity. We don't need to have a very complex setting here. So as we turn now the evolution, you see that this graphic is changing through the time, and this is what we want to have. So we just zero that down, make a keyframe at the beginning, go to the end, and make something like, well, let's say 10. And yeah, there we go. So the next thing is we don't want to have sharp edges left and right, and also on the top. So very easy, just make a mask. And where do we have it? Window, tools, there we go. And we just draw a mask around it and feather that to, let's say, 10. So, and we just have now a nice looking something. Okay, we call that composition particle lines, something like that. We go back to our, we should name that Orbs. Okay. So as with the circle, we just change it to the other emitter we have there. Also switch it off, and we tell our particular system here to pick a different emitter, and this will be the particle lines. So, okay, there's going on some really crazy stuff, and I think we have to screw around there a little more. So I think we go just back on this particle system to particle circle, so we can keep that and duplicate it. So we're working now on a different particle system that is basically the same, but just will have a different particle. So, and we say the particle circle, but it's particle lines, and we turn down the size, and we should also go into our particle lines, and I think this is just changing much too fast to have a nice movement, and so we turn this down to 5, go back to the orbs, and there we go. So as you can see now, we have a much different look than with a circle. And we try to increase that look with first of all with the life, the longer life of the trail. Then we turn down the size, and also very important, what we do is in a transfer mode we go to add, because we would take the black with it, and that was cover the trail. Okay, let's see. I think it's still not enough of the white lines, so we go back to this particle system and maybe just work on contrast. That should do it. Now there we go. So what you see now is that we have a totally different look, and it's more like the like this one we have here, and well, it's based just on fractal noise and of course particular. So I think that it looks quite good and we can work with it. So what we can do now is add to this system our other system, these tubes. Also change this to in the transfer mode to add, and then I think we can just turn down the life very drastically. And so we have on the top of the two orbs we have this shimmering tube-like thing, this life form, and out of this life form is coming the trail that we can also should give more life and length, of course. So okay, this is the first thing about the orbs, and I would just recommend to play around with the setting, but basically it's this is the idea of how to build up these things. You have two particle systems, one, and they are just well, grabbing two custom particles, and which are actually animated and or having a life in itself. And you have these two lights parented to a null, and well, this is the basic setup. In the next tutorial I will show you how to make the looks of the to create a better look of these orbs, and also how to integrate that in a scene, and what you can actually do more with this setup, because there are a lot of possibilities. So thank you very much for this time, and stay tuned. Thank you very much.